Hello, welcome to our lecture on fields of psychology. Psychologists are highly trained in methods, knowledge, as well as theories of psychological research. Usually a master's degree, or most of them require doctorate degrees and several years of postgraduate training. With these degrees, you can teach, you can do research, there's consulting or therapy, and then, of course, research in an academic or non academic setting. Psychology investigates a wide variety of questions and attempts to answer them using the scientific method. An imperial approach is evidence based and draws on observations and experiments. Psychology helps evaluate the many psychological facts that we encounter every day. It helps to better understand our own thoughts, our feelings, as well as our behaviors. And an understanding of psychology will help you to think critically and evaluate the scientific based facts. It really helps us explore rather than just blindly accept what someone says or an argument that someone says. Helps us with claims and conclusions when you use your scientific method and a scientific attitude. So this is usually based on curiosity, being very skeptical, things of that nature to really create this scientific or psychological thought process. Psychology is a science. It is the scientific study of the behavior of humans as well as animals. It is based on careful application of the scientific method. It is not just a matter of common sense, and it deals with people effectively and is only a small part of the science when it comes to behavior. There are many different specializations in psychology. I'm just going to go over a few of the more prominent or more sort of interesting ones in psychology. The first type is cognitive psychology, and this is an approach to psychology that focuses on the ways in which organisms process information. So investigating processes such as thinking, memory, language, problem solving, as well as creativity. There's also developmental psychology, and this is a field of specialization that concentrates and really focuses on concerning facts that influence the development and shape of our behavior through the life cycle. This could be from conception all the way through to, our old age or elderly age. There's social psychology, and social psychology is a field that focuses on understanding the impact of social environments and social processes on people. In other words, what do we have in common with each other? There's personality psychology, and this is a field that focuses on exploring the uniqueness of individuals, describing the elements that make up the human personality, and investigating how personality develops and how it influences people's activities. Industrial and organizational psychology. This is my area of expertise in psychology. This is sort of a not as well known version of psychology, but it's basically business psychology. So it's a field that specializes in the psychological concepts to the work world, the workplace, and a more satisfying environment for employees as well as for management. There's clinical psychology, and this is an area of specialization involved in the diagnosis as well as the treatment of behavior problems. There's counseling psychology, and this is an area that involves the diagnosis and treatment of problems of adjustment, so being able to adjust. Positive psychology, this is the study of human behavior aimed at discovering and promoting positive strengths and attributes that enable individuals to thrive and become successful. There's cultural psychology, and this investigates how cultural and religious traditions and practices shape and contribute to differences in human behavior. And then there's um, evolutionary psychology, which is a recent approach to both investigating and explaining human behavior in terms of natural selection. It can be traced to the early writings of Charles Darwin, and evolutionary psychologists argue that traits may be a result of this selection process. There's also other areas of psychology, like health psychology. This typically goes into things like eating disorders, things that revolve around the health of psychology. Some psychologists that focus in health psychology also do end of life, meaning that someone who's just been diagnosed with terminal cancer, they may see someone of a health psychologist to sort of talk about what that process is, how that feels, the emotions that are involved in that. There's also sports psychology, which specifically, just like it sounds, focuses on the psychological needs of those that play sports. And this can be from anything from how do you mentally get in the game to, how your sports business runs as far as the employees within it when it comes to the psychology side of it. And of course, child psychology, which falls more under the cognitive, developmental, social, personality. There's all of those different types of areas that you can go into, just focus specifically in children and not necessarily adults. So those are some of the fields of specialization in psychology. I hope you enjoyed it. And of course, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Thank you so much.